inside the Apostolic Palace of the Vatican. On the night of October 30th, 1503, something happened that shook the Christian world to its core. The vaulted ceilings built to honor the divine echoed with a silence heavier than stone. Across the freezing marble floor moved 50 courtesans, trembling, forced into a scene no witness would ever forget. Cardinals and bishops stood frozen, not speaking, barely breathing, and at the center of it all, watching, smiling, almost laughing, sat Pope Alexander VI. What the witnesses saw that night was only the beginning. The true nightmare had not yet begun. This is the story of Lucrezia Borgia, a woman trapped inside a dynasty where power mattered more than blood, more than faith, more than humanity itself. A woman whose wedding night became one of the darkest stains in Vatican history. In the autumn of 1503, the bells of St. Peter's rang across Rome, carrying news that consumed all of Italy. The Pope had announced a third marriage for his daughter, a daughter twice widowed, under circumstances too dark to ignore. And this time, the ceremony would take place inside the Vatican itself, under sacred frescoes, under symbols meant to represent heaven's judgment. Her new groom was Alfonso d'Este, the young heir to Ferrara. To Italy, the alliance looked like a triumph. To Alfonso, it felt like a quiet execution. Lucrezia's past was infamous. One husband fled Rome claiming assassins had been sent after him. The next was strangled inside the Vatican. And now another man was being bound to the Borgias. He knew the danger. Everyone did. Alfonso tried everything to escape. Diplomacy, delays, desperate pleas through emissaries. But Alexander VI did not tolerate refusal. Messengers rode day and night with one ultimatum: accept this marriage or be destroyed. Ferrara understood the truth. No one survived conflict with the Borgias. And so, Alfonso traveled to Rome, straight into the center of a trap he could not yet see. Inside the Vatican, tension suffocated the halls. Servants avoided certain corridors. Cardinals whispered in corners. And deep beneath the palace, preparations began for something dark, calculated, merciless. Even Lucrezia felt it. Though she was kept from the details, she sensed the air tightening, as if the walls themselves were preparing for something unholy. The night before her wedding, she fled to the Sistine Chapel. Under Michelangelo's painted heavens, she fell to her knees. She prayed not for love, not for happiness, but for rescue. The chapel remained silent. The divine felt impossibly far away. Then came the day of the wedding, October 30th. Rome gathered outside the palace, inside. Lucrezia was dressed in gold, glowing like fire, but her eyes were heavy with fear. The ceremony was flawless, beautiful, sacred, and entirely hollow. Every cardinal knew the truth. What they were witnessing was only the prelude. After the vows, guests were led into the Borgia apartments. Tables overflowed with wine and fruit. Music filled the gilded halls. But beneath the celebration, a darkness waited. The doors slammed shut. Guards took their positions. No one would leave. At Caesar Borgia's signal, the hall fell silent. Servants lit towering candelabras. Shadows twisted across the frescoed walls. Then, the side doors opened. A group of women entered. Elegant, terrified, forced into a role none of them chose. A hush spread across the hall, thick as smoke. Alexander VI rose from his throne, smiling, and announced that the true entertainment was about to begin. What followed became known across Europe as the Banquet of the Chestnuts. a night so infamous that chroniclers struggled to find words dark enough to describe it. The feast descended into chaos. Laughter twisted, commands barked, shadows sliding across sacred walls like spirits summoned from hell. Lucrezia sat frozen beside her groom. Her wedding dress felt like a shroud, her tears silent and still. The darkest moment had not arrived. As midnight approached, Alexander delivered his final decree. The marriage must be proven, not once but 3 times, and not in private. Even Caesar stiffened at the command. Alfonso rose slowly, the color draining from his face. Surrounded by armed guards, he understood he had no choice. Lucrezia trembled beside him, her spirit already shattered. What followed was not a union. It was the breaking of 2 human beings before an entire court. By dawn, the Vatican felt poisoned. Something sacred had died, and word of the night spread like a plague across Europe. Ambassadors wrote encrypted letters. Priests whispered warnings. Nobles read the reports in disbelief. The Venetian envoy wrote, "What happened in the Vatican surpasses even the darkest imaginations of ancient Rome." Lucrezia left Rome soon after. She tried to build a quiet life in Ferrara. She supported artists, scholars, charities. But those who met her privately saw the same thing, a sorrow that never left her eyes. She died at 39. Her final words, "I am ready to be free at last." Alexander VI died months later. Rumors whispered that poison, his favorite weapon, had finally reached him. Caesar was killed in a lonely ambush, buried in an unmarked grave. But the night of October 30th, 1503, did not die with them. It became a symbol, a warning, proof of what happens when absolute power loses all restraint. If you've reached this point, write Borgias in the comments so we know you walked with us through this darkness. And remember, the past is never dead. It watches, it warns, until the next dark truth. I'll be waiting.